gonna introduce you, but I don't know what to say. How do I introduce you? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Amin here, and today I'm doing a video. Can you stop that? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Amin here, and today I'm doing a video that has been in the making for a very long time. I am going to do a little Q&A with, I don't know what to call him, my boyfriend. Some people would say fiance. Say hi. This is Darm, I call him Darm. And we thought we would answer some of your questions from Instagram. I guess you can explain a little bit about why I don't know what to call you.
I don't know. We kind of recently got engaged, but like...
It's a little complex. So we are getting married. I guess that's the big thing, right? Like we're getting married next year. And so traditionally speaking, we had like our engagement ceremony, or like in our culture, we would consider us to be like a couple who's planning to get married. But there's no ring. Clearly, there is no ring. So to me, I'm not engaged. To me, I don't call him a fiance. But everybody else kind of thinks, like all the adults think that we are, and like in society, we're engaged, but in my mind, we're not. Don't look at yourself, look at the camera. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Do you want to introduce yourself? No. Okay. It took me a very long time to convince him to come on the channel, on YouTube in general. It's not his thing, right? It's not your thing?
No.
One word.
As you can tell, I'm pretty awkward.
One word answers. Yeah. Okay, so I have a lot of questions. Like I have all of these from Instagram. So we're gonna answer some of these questions. A lot of them obviously are wedding related because people are curious, like in terms of the planning and what's been going on behind the scenes. So we'll answer a few of those, but I think we can start with the basics, just about like us in general. And obviously people were like, the first thing was like, how did we meet? So you can answer that one.
We went to the same high school. We shared a couple classes together.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been together since 2013. So that was the summer between grade 10 and grade 11. So we are over 9 years now. And when we get married, it'll be after 10 years, which is, in my mind, a really good time to get married. But people will think we're young, you know. Some people will say that we're young to get married because we're only 25. By the time we get married, we'll be 26. But as you can tell, we've been together for a very long time. So yeah, we have known each other since high school. That's how we met. Someone asked, how did you know he was the one? Do you want me to answer first?
Yeah.
How did you know you yourself were the one?
Right?
How did I know he was the one? Okay, this video's gonna be really long, I think.
Yeah, you'll have to cut it down.
Nah, we're just leaving it all in there. But like a week into our relationship, I was like, nah, like this is it. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. How did you know I was the one?
I liked you.
You liked, past tense, you liked me.
Yeah,
I don't think it was like a one moment thing. I think that's kind of what I'm realizing. It wasn't like one moment where I was like looking at him and I was like, yeah, this is my person. I don't think it was that. I think it was just like the moments together, like with time. I do remember there was one scenario when we had our first fight. I don't know if you remember that. So I can be dramatic, obviously. And we had this fight. It was like a few months in, I think. I don't remember what it was about. I don't remember what it was about. It was probably something stupid. I probably said something mean, and then instead of being nice about it, he was actually offended about it. I think that's what it was. But anyways, and then I don't know. And then I got really upset. And then I remember I went to the bathroom in high school to like cry by myself. And then I came out when you were there. And then you apologized and I apologized, and it didn't become a big thing. Like I was trying to like, stir shit up and it didn't work. Which I think is a common theme. Like I tried to stir shit up. But he was just so level-headed, and I was like, oh shit, man, like it didn't work. Like I didn't get a rise out of you. So I think that was like the first fight, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like he's really sticking it out, you know, like he's really in it for the long haul. Let me see another one that's like our beginning stuff before. We're going to the wedding stuff a little bit later. Okay, this is a cute question. It's from my friend. Name a song that reminds you of a memory you have together and share.
Let's get back to that one. I'm gonna have to
Okay, fine. We'll get back to it. I already have my answer because I told you it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's because I read the questions. Yeah, like he hasn't seen the questions before. Okay, what is your favorite pastime?
Honestly, just hanging out. My friends and I like play a lot of games together, but it's like not even the games. It's we all just talk to each other, and like the games are kind of just there.
For your game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, but that's the reason, right? It's because we're all able to just like spend time together, and that's a thing that we're commonly able to do from home. But even if we're not home, I just like hanging out with people, you know?
He's an extrovert, more so than I am. So like it's funny because when he goes to work, so we work in the same location for now, but obviously both of our jobs are like interacting with people, and like sometimes we carpool if like we have the same shifts. And after work, he has so much energy, and like I'm like literally do not talk to me. Like in the morning, I'm like don't talk to me. After work, I'm like don't talk to me. And then he's just like bouncing off the walls. Literally after any social event, he was like bouncing off the walls, and I'm just like it's time for bed. Please leave me alone. So yeah, I guess that would make sense if your pastime is spending time with people and hanging out with people. I think the rest of them are wedding related questions. One of the first questions we can start with in terms of like how did we even get to this point was how was the whole parents process of like getting to this stage?
What do you mean?
Like, I guess, how did we tell our parents that we were together and wanted to get married?
I don't know. You go first.
Why?
You go first.
My parents always knew about him. I thought I was very good at hiding things, but I really wasn't. And so I think when they found out about him, like I didn't deny it. I was just like, yeah, like I'm with this person. Like, what are you gonna do? Obviously, I was like 16, so they were like, this girl's whack. Like, you know, this is just her being stupid or whatever. But they knew the whole time. And like it wasn't like a secret. They just ignored it for most of the part, which I think is a coping mechanism for a lot of Indian parents, is just to ignore the things that you're doing because dealing with it is harder. So for my parents, like obviously like they knew this is like a natural step, I think. Like I went to school and I came home and I graduated and like we were hanging out a lot more. We lived really close to each other because we went to the same high school. So they knew that like they didn't have to look for somebody for me, like I had somebody. But yours is a little different.
I don't know, not really. Like my mom knew like pretty much the entire time as well. My dad kind of knew, but it's the same thing, kind of just ignored
Didn't
it.
address it.
Yeah, like she got ready at my house for prom and everything, and we were matching, and like it's, I don't know, it just
like it was easier just to not bring it up.
Yeah, and then like just as I got older and older, my dad just kept going, you know, you have someone, and finally I was just like, yeah, and he's like, okay, cool. Next steps, you know, and I didn't, one of the reasons I didn't want to tell my dad specifically until later on is because like I know he's that kind of person that like it's just get everything done, right? So it's like if I told him like years back, he would have been like, okay, when's the wedding? And it's just like, don't want that right now, you know?
Yeah, no, they were trying to get us married like last year. So things escalate very quickly, and it's definitely a cultural thing, right? Like you don't introduce someone to your parents unless you're like ready to settle down. It's not like I would bring him over and just be like, oh, this is my boyfriend, we're casually dating. Like you don't do that at all. So we didn't really like talk about it openly with our parents until we were like, okay, we're both on the same page and we're ready to kind of take the next step. So it wasn't hard at all, I think. It was like natural for like, because they kind of had an idea that we existed, so it was like natural for us to just be like, okay, like, you know, I'm gonna meet his parents and he's gonna meet, I kind of met your parents more in an official way, whereas he was always around like all the years before, so it wasn't like they needed like a what's the word? You guys didn't need like an official introduction, yeah, whereas I had an official introduction for his dad, but everybody else knew me. But yeah, and then when we were ready to kind of say, okay, like we want to start, you know, talking about timelines for weddings, we initiated it. And we told our parents like, yo, we should, you know, you guys should meet together and like have a discussion about this. So we kind of like, we were like, there are external pressures, but we were still the ones that initiated everything.
We're at the end of the day, like our parents you know, they have their own opinion, but it's just, they let us make our own decisions.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, we're doing what we want to, basically. What? Why are you laughing?
30 seconds.
I'm clearly not a succinct person. So anyways, okay. So the most, like, I guess most asked question is like, how is the planning going? Anything unexpected in the planning? Like, yeah, literally, how are you feeling about the prep? How is the wedding planning going? So I'll let you start first.
I'm very much kind of not involved.
That's not
to
true.
be honest. Like, I don't know, Amin is very much a planner, so like she's been planning this probably since she was like 5 years old. Like she's like, her wedding, doesn't matter who it was with at the time, she's like, for my wedding I want this, and I want this, and the person will kind of just fall into place, right? And I'm happy with that, because it makes life a whole lot
Less
easier
work
for me.
you.
But yeah, no, she asked me what things I want to do, I help her with research, and it's just, we kind of make that decision together. If I'm available to do something, I'll do it. If not, she'll do it. And we like, will reach out to other people like my sisters, her cousins, our parents, and ask for help with what we need. But I don't know, everyone's just been super helpful and resourceful, and it's just made things really easy for us.
Yeah, I remember hearing from people that they're like very stressed in the wedding planning process, and I've been saying for a few weeks now, like, I don't feel that stress. So I'm like, am I doing something wrong? But I think not 5 years old, but like I have been kind of planning this for a while now. Like I would say right after I graduated from like my master's, I was kind of like, okay, like if I were to get married, like what sort of things should I be looking into? Like what's the timeline of things? Like how many vendors do we need? All that kind of stuff. So like I started an Excel spreadsheet like a year before we probably started planning, and it was just like resources that I found. Like I wasn't actively looking for it, but if I came across something, like I would write it down. So basically when we finally got the go-ahead from our parents of the green light to actually start booking stuff, like I already had a sequential like order of things that we need to do first, second, third, depending on our priorities, which we did talk about, like what are we most concerned about, like what is the top thing that we need at this wedding, which was always like the outfits, number one. Like I straight up told his mom I'm only getting married to wear the outfits. I told everybody that, and I got in trouble for saying that because it's not a good thing to say, but it's true. Like the outfits, obviously, like you guys are watching the video and like, you know, fashion is my thing. So outfits is number one. Like I was not going to settle on that. I wasn't going to settle on the DJ. That's like the second most important thing, I think, is like, why would you have a party if the music sucks, you know? And then food, obviously, like why would you have a party if the food sucks? So that was like the main things for us. I didn't really care about the location that much. I didn't really care about decor that much. I didn't really care about like, I don't know, like guest list that much. Like there were a few things that we just like were like, okay, it's not that important. We did have an engagement party that happened in like less than 4 weeks, like a full-on party. I think we planned it all. Yeah, we planned it all. Like our parents met in September, like early to mid-September, and then early to mid-October we had like this actual party that we threw.
They've met before that,
but they like officially
talk about
yeah,
this,
yeah. So it wasn't too hard actually. So far hasn't been that bad, and I think all the big stuff is already done.
Yeah.
I would say like I feel like I'm chilling. Like I don't know. Maybe something's wrong. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. Like, am I doing something wrong? But like, I think all of our big stuff, like, you know, and like I say, mota, like all that stuff, like all of that is done. Clearly, it's like a 30-second answer and then like a 3-minute answer.
5 minutes. This video is gonna be an hour long.
Shut the hell up. Okay. What are some unexpected things we've come across once we actually started planning?
I don't know, I feel like nothing I would say really unexpected, because again, like just planning for so long, the only kind of difficult thing I would say is too many options. And then just trying to cut down from there. You got to decide on what is going to be your priority, and then find what matches your priority the most from there.
What's an example of too many options?
I don't know. Like DJs, you got to listen to like a million DJs, find out like which one you actually like the best, because all these DJs are good. Yeah. But it's like, okay, which one do I think would suit my music taste the best? Or like, they probably can all do it, but again, it's just there's
which one matches
too many options, and then like that's like something more important. And then again, and then there's like other stuff, right? Like there's decor and there's like I don't know, venues and stuff.
We've gotten a lot of, like he was saying, a lot of help and advice from people that have had weddings recently. Like his 2 sisters just got married, like one this year and then one the year before, and then one of my cousins is in the wedding industry, like as a vendor. So we've just been asking a lot of people for their advice. So I think we definitely have an advantage in that sense, and I think that's why things weren't as hard for us, because we were kind of already connected through that way. So it wasn't that bad. The one thing that is unexpected for me, but it's like a pleasant surprise, is actually how I think you are involved. Compared to, like, I hear stories from like other like brides to be, and they're like, their fiancés are basically like not interested, they're doing everything by themselves. And I think that's where a lot of people get stressed, is like they feel alone in the process, or they feel like not connected to their partner because they're not interested. But I think he's been helping as much as he can. Sometimes I get annoyed because I don't think he's helping enough, but then I think it's more than typically what guys do, especially brown guys. Like anyways, I'm not gonna go into that, but like sometimes like they have like a different, they don't think they have to do as much because the girl will just do everything, or their parents just do everything. But that's
You're going into exactly what you said you've been going to.
But anyways, that's not the vibe. He is interested in helping me plan. Not even helping me, it's like you are also planning.
Yeah.
Because it is like half of his event too, you know? Like sure, is it as like detail oriented as I am? No, but if I tell him to do something, then are you skipping the next question? Anyways, okay, moving on. I guess we answered that one. Another question was, is wedding planning as stressful as people make it sound? We answered that one.
At least for us at this point in time, no. But I mean, things change in the future, right?
Yeah. Maybe as we get closer to the day, it'll be more.
Any tips for others planning to start wedding planning?
Yeah, start planning before you even get the green light. Like, honestly, I think that's what made everything easier. Yeah, it's not like I was starting at zero when we were like, okay, we only have like 12 months left. Now I'm starting everything. Like, we started like at least a year before we were actually like seriously looking at different options. So that was, I would say, like definitely the first thing. And then obviously just like open communication, like with your partner. We made an email account because I'm like a very organized person. And so like we have a Google Drive and we have like a Gmail, and we use that for all of our vendor communications. And that way like we can both see what's going on. So if an email comes through and like I'm at work or he's at work, like one of us can reply to that email right away, or we're both on the same page about like how much things are costing. So we have like a spreadsheet with all the costs of everything. So we're like everything is transparent, right? There's nothing that like one of us doesn't know about. And so I pride myself in my organization, but I think it'll be really helpful. Even for my friends, like we're the first people to get married in both of our friend groups. So I'm sure they'll have questions like down the road, and that way I'll just be able to share all of my resources once we get to that point. Even though at the point they're looking at, it'll be outdated because every year things get more expensive, but they'll kind of have a ballpark range. Because I personally didn't really have a ballpark range. I mean, your sisters had like their weddings, but they're kind of the COVID weddings, like not as big as ours is going to be. So we both are kind of like starting new, but it hasn't been that stressful yet because I think of the organization.
Did you get a wedding planner?
No, I'm the wedding planner. I thought about it when I was like younger. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll need a planner, but like so far things have been going well enough that I don't think we need one.
You bought a like wedding planner?
Yeah, like there's people that make like guides, like Sikh wedding guides, and like about all the like rituals and traditions and things that you need. I honestly didn't find them that helpful because I feel like I know a lot of it. Again, because we have people that just went through it or go through it every day, like if you're a vendor. So I didn't find it that helpful, but also everything they had in that book I already had in my Excel from my year doing research before, so yeah.
Songs must have during the ceremony and reception. So even for like the engagement party, she made a whole ass playlist and like sent it to the DJ, and it's like, yo, these are the songs I want played, right? Which I mean, honestly, it's smart, right? That way you don't have to keep going up to the DJ, right? You pre-plan ahead. It's probably easier for them.
Yeah.
I don't think, did you ask him at the end of the day what he thought about that, or?
No, he didn't say anything. Like I just sent him the link and I was like, these are all my favorite songs, all our favorite songs. It was a collaborative. I never added anything. It was a collaborative playlist, but he never added anything.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, I'm fine. Like,
I mean, there are bangers. Like our DJ did a very good job. It was like banger after banger, and a lot of the songs I had on the playlist, like he played them already. I don't know where I came up with that idea from.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw it somewhere, maybe it just came from my brain. But like I've been known to be like the DJ in our group. Like every time we would like go out somewhere, like I would be taking over, you know, the aux cord. So it's really important. Music is really important to me. So I will continue to do that, even for web reception, even for like our pre-events. Like I will give the DJs playlists, and I don't care. 'Cause I'm the client. I'm paying you to do the service. These are the songs that I want you to play.
Anyways, but just on that end, I think it's just easier, right? If there's something you think you really want at the end of the day, right? Like must-haves, let them know beforehand, right? That way, like for whatever reason, if it's a really obscure song, they're not looking for it at the end.
Yeah.
Right? They're able to come up with their own kind of playlist, and they have a groove that they're trying to do at the start of the day anyways, right? So they can obviously match it up to what you want,
Yeah.
but if you let them know what kind of music you like beforehand, you'll be enjoying the night a lot more.
What was the question?
Songs that are must-haves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of the songs that we have are like Punjabi songs, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
A lot of Siddhu Moosewala.
follow me on Spotify. My Spotify's open. I have lots of playlists. I have like over 20 playlists. But yeah, he's a Siddhu fan. I wasn't until he passed away, which I think is the same for a lot of people. But yeah, a lot of Punjabi songs, Diljit, you know the vibes.
This one's a cool question, but I
Okay, you
don't
can answer.
have an answer.
I have
for
an
it.
answer. The question is, what are traditions that you're keeping and ditching? I think one of the big things is just the gifting of gold, right? Like in our culture.
Well, I mean, we're trying to ditch it.
We're trying. It's hard because one of the other questions was also about like with your parents, right? How are you balancing what your parents want versus what you want? So they kind of play hand in hand with both of them. So I'm the oldest for my siblings, and so my parents, like, we've never gone through it, and like all of my closest cousins, like, none of us has really gone through like a wedding, whereas he's the youngest. But one of the big things in our culture is we do a lot of gifting, like you gift gold and clothes and stuff like that to not only like your fiance, but your fiance's parents, your fiance's siblings, your fiance's like siblings, spouses. Like there's a lot of gifting that goes on. And even during our engagement, like we tried to say like we're doing the minimal amount of gifting. So I was only buying stuff for him, like not for anybody else. And then we tried to do it the same the other way, but sometimes parents, they just like say, you just can't control them, right? So like there was some gifting that happened that was unplanned, but at some point you just have to be like, do whatever you want. Like I can't control you.
You gotta let them enjoy it too. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that's.
But yeah, that's a tradition we're trying to ditch.
We're trying to ditch, yeah. And then keeping it, I think everything else we're being pretty traditional about it all. Like even with the engagement, like we followed also it's hard because every family has their own traditions, right? Like we don't know what originally these things were supposed to be like. Everyone has their own rendition. I'm sure people in like India and Punjab, they have a different version now of what we do here. And like even between like my friends and even what my family does is different than what his family does. So we're trying to like blend it all together, but still very much being traditional. Like our wedding will be like at a traditional temple in the Gurdwara, which is actually the hardest venue to find, was the Gurdwara. And we live in a very like densely Indian populated area. We have multiple options for temples, and we still couldn't. We had to go to the bottom of our list to get the temple. But
well,
yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing, right? Because it's so densely populated, there's so many people.
Yeah, everyone's getting married at the same time. Everyone gets married in the summer. Like it's only a few months of the year where we're not freezing to death that you want to get married in. So a lot of temples were telling me they were like literally they were on the phone. They were like, "Honey, we're booking for 2024," and I was like, "Okay, bye." Like that's literally what it was like.
How annoyed is he of you? I know.
Yeah, my cousin asked that.
Just a little bit.
That's hella rude. I should be annoyed about you.
How does it feel to have transitioned from dreaming/thinking of marriage into the planning stage? Personally, for me, I don't know. It doesn't feel much different. Like we've been together so long that these are steps that I knew that we would be taking, that it's not much of a shock, right? I feel like the shock will actually come after we're married, maybe if one does, but it's like I've always just thought of it like this is my person, right? This is who I'm gonna end up with. So making that step forward, it didn't change anything. It hasn't changed anything yet. Just more stuff involved with actually planning on how to do that. But
Yeah. Also with like our parents being involved now, like we were keeping it a secret for so long, and now we're like openly like going to each other's houses and hanging out with each other's families and like, you know, calling up moms and stuff. Like it's just like different, which I'm sure for other cultures, like you have that relationship from the beginning. Like you're very close with the other person's family, whereas ours was not like that. But yeah, it doesn't really feel any different, I would say. I see him a lot more now, a lot more openly. Like
that too, that's a lot because of work as well.
Also because of work, but even in general, like we're just like able to do more at this point. But it hasn't been like too much of a transition. We'll see later because I will be moving into his house with his parents. So we'll see what that transition is like. But also we've had years to like I've mentally prepared for that for years. So it's not too shocking at this point.
Then going back
to
the
this song. Okay, you go first.
I literally have not thought of
Okay, so I was telling him a couple days ago.
Just to preface again, we're answering the question. Name a song that reminds you of a memory that you have together and maybe share.
Okay, I don't know exactly the details around this, but I remember in high school we had a dance. And
Probably
Sadie Hawkins, right? Yeah, Sadie Hawkins. I did this whole proposal for him, you know, as one does. And the slow dance song at that Sadie Hawkins was Stay With Me by Rihanna. You know, won't you stay?
I know this song.
Because you're all I need. Is that a song?
I don't know.
No, let me find it.
Is that Rihanna?
No, it's not.
That's not.
It is a Rihanna song. It's a sad song, which I was very confused about. Why did they play that one for the slow dance? Honestly, we have a lot of songs now. Like, you know, it's been years. It's been a very long time. Let me find it.
That's a completely different song. Yeah.
It's a Sam Smith song. What's this song called?
That might have been it though.
It's not this one. It's definitely Rihanna. It's a sad Rihanna song. Okay, you think of your answer and tell me.
I don't know.
You have to. Out of all the songs in the world, none of them remind me of you? Remind you of me? Is it Stay? Is it called Stay? I Want You to Stay. That's the song. Yeah. Mickey Echo. You guys know what song? Let me just.
You can't play it.
I'm gonna play it for a second, chill.
Yeah, it was the song.
Yeah, it was the first slow dance song. How did the chorus part go? A little closer. What's the chorus like? I want you to stay. I think it's like a sad song, but that song reminds me of us because that was our first like slow dance song, you know? It was like fresh in the relationship, like it was probably like 2-3 months in. Yeah. You still don't have one?
No.
That's so rude.
I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll put it in a comment.
What? Okay. Anyways, that's a very long video. It's been 34 minutes, so I'm gonna have to cut it down by a lot. Maybe it'll end up being like 20 minutes. So I think that's a good time.
Probably like 25. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for watching this video. You'll be able to see a lot more of him now on my channel. No, I guess not. It's okay, you'll catch glimpses of him on my channel. It's not his thing to do these kinds of videos or just like be on social media. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some insight into us, our relationship, and the wedding planning process. I will be sharing, and I have been sharing a lot more of the wedding stuff on my Instagram. So follow me if you haven't already. Follow me on Spotify if you want to see my videos. I don't think you want people to follow you on anything.
Yeah, your Spotify videos?
Follow me on Spotify if you want to see any of my playlists. And I don't think he doesn't want you to follow him anywhere, so I'm not gonna share any of his information. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips for people that are wedding planning, an Indian wedding planner, kind of what your experience has been like. It would be good to know. If you have any other questions that we didn't answer, let us know in the comments as well. And I will see you in the next video. He probably won't be back for a very long time, but
give it a few years.
A few years, there you go. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.